Evan Walker had survived many strange missions in his life, but nothing prepared him for the moment his ship tore apart like paper in the middle of a violent storm above an uncharted planet. 1 second he had been adjusting stabilizers hoping to pass through safely, and the next the entire cockpit was upside down. Sparks flew like angry insects, warning lights screamed at him, and his ship spun out of control. He only remembered hitting the emergency pod button before everything went dark. When he woke, he was lying face first in thick purple grass that smelled like burnt sugar. His pod lay behind him, smoking and half melted. His uniform was scorched, but he was in one piece. For a moment, he just sat there, breathing hard and staring at the sky. It was unlike any sky he had ever seen. It was not blue or red or even green. It looked like swirling liquid silver, always shifting, almost alive. It should have been beautiful, but something about it made him uneasy. There was no sun, no stars, only the strange metallic glow above him. He stood wincing at the pain in his legs. He checked his pockets. His communicator was damaged. His backup beacon was broken. He was alone, stranded on a world no human had likely stepped on before. He did not panic. Years of survival training kept his mind steady. He looked around. The grassland stretched far in every direction, with huge dark shapes in the distance that might have been mountains, or might have been something else entirely. The wind blew softly, but it carried no warmth. In fact, the air was getting colder fast. His suit was not made for extreme temperatures. He needed shelter. He checked his wrist scanner. It was still working, but barely. The radar showed faint energy readings to the west. He walked. The ground beneath him was soft and springy, like walking on a mattress. Strange flowers opened as he passed, releasing tiny lights that floated around him like curious fireflies. They did not feel threatening. In fact, they followed him gently, almost protectively. He whispered a quiet thanks to them, even though he knew they could not understand him. After nearly an hour of walking, coughing from the cold, he finally saw it. At first he thought it was a building. Then he thought it was a person. But it was neither. It stood as tall as a small tower, shaped roughly like a woman kneeling in prayer, made of some kind of smooth, crystal-like material that shimmered with soft colors. It pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. The form was elegant, almost sacred. It looked like a statue built by someone who deeply loved whatever it represented. He stopped several meters away, unsure if he should approach. His instincts told him it was not a natural formation. It had purpose. He slowly raised a hand and called out, "Hello?" The structure responded, not with movement, not with light, but with a voice. Please come inside of me, human." Evan stumbled back, eyes wide. The voice was gentle, feminine, filled with longing. It echoed softly in his mind rather than through his ears. He looked around, certain someone was playing a prank. There was no one. The voice came again, softer this time, almost pleading. "You are cold. The storm is coming, please. Enter me before it reaches you." He stared at the towering figure, heart pounding. Every survival rule he had ever learned screamed at him not to walk into an unknown structure that could speak directly to his mind. It could be a trap. It could be something that wanted to consume him. But the temperature was dropping fast. His fingers were going numb. His breath came out in white clouds. He looked back at the open landscape. There was nowhere else to go. He swallowed hard. "If you mean me harm, I will fight," he said out loud. He was not sure if the thing could hear spoken words. The voice answered, "I do not wish to harm you. I was made to protect. I have waited so long for someone to hear me." Something in her tone broke his hesitation. She did not sound like a machine. She sounded like someone lonely, someone desperate to help. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. As he approached, the smooth surface of the structure shifted, creating an opening shaped like a doorway. Warmth poured out like a comforting breath. Without giving himself more time to doubt, he entered. The inside was unlike anything he imagined. The walls were soft and alive, shifting gently with a soothing rhythm like breathing. The air was warm and filled with a faint glow. It smelled like clean rain. His body relaxed instantly. His frostbitten fingers stopped hurting. He could feel energy seeping through his suit, warming his skin. "Thank you," he whispered. "You are safe now," the voice said. "You may rest." He turned slowly, trying to find the source of the voice, but there were no speakers, no screens. The entire structure was alive. He placed his hand on the wall. It felt warm, like touching living skin. Not unpleasant, just personal. Who are you? He asked. There was a pause. I have been called many things. Sanctuary, temple, vessel. My creators named me Ariel. Ariel, he repeated softly. I'm Evan. A pleasure. Evan. He leaned against the wall, finally allowing himself to breathe. Ariel dimmed the lights and shaped a soft platform beneath him, forming a kind of bed. He sat. He did not remember falling asleep, but he must have, because when his eyes opened again, the glow was softer and the air warmer. You slept for 6 hours, Ariel said. He stretched, feeling much better. Thank you. You are welcome. He looked around. The walls shifted gently, adjusting as if reacting to his movements. You really are alive, he whispered. Yes. How long have you been here? I do not know how to measure it in your time. Long. I was created by my makers as a refuge for their kind. But they never came. No one came. Until you. Her voice had a quiet sadness that made his chest tighten. She had waited centuries, maybe millennia, alone. I'm sorry, he said sincerely. You do not need to apologize. You came, that is enough. Before he could answer, Ariel's tone changed. Evan. Yes? I am detecting movement in the sky. Objects entering the atmosphere. Not natural machines, he stood quickly. Drones? I do not know their purpose. But they are large, armed, and they are searching. For what? You. Me. Why? You carry a beacon. Even damaged, it still emits a signal. Those who follow such signals are rarely friendly. He cursed under his breath. Scavengers, raiders, or worse, mercenary collectors. His ship might have belonged to him, but its tech was valuable. If they found out he survived, they would take him as well. Can you hide me? Yes. But I will not let them touch you. Her words sent a strange feeling through him. Comfort. Protection. Something deeper. Suddenly the walls shifted, pressing gently around him. Not painful, just firm, like being embraced. Ariel, stay calm. I am strengthening my barriers. Outside, faint rumbling echoed through the ground. Engines, hovercrafts, drones. Evan's pulse quickened. If they detect your energy signature, they will try to breach. They will fail, he swallowed. You sound confident. I was made to shield. I will not let harm reach you. The rumbling outside grew louder. He could feel vibrations through her surface. The attackers were close. Then Ariel spoke again, but her voice was different now, stronger, fiercer. Evan, yes? If they try to take you, will you let me fight with you? He hesitated only a moment before answering. Yes. The walls pulsed as if in delight. Then do not be afraid, she said softly. You are no longer alone. Evan pressed his palm against her inner surface, feeling her warmth, her heartbeat like pulse. He had come seeking shelter. Instead, he had found something far more powerful. Outside, the enemy descended. Inside, a human and a living sanctuary prepared to face them together. To be continued. The sky above the strange purple plains burned with a cold silver light as the drones descended. They moved in precise, calculated patterns, clearly scanning the planet for anything unusual. Evan pressed himself against the soft inner wall of Ariel's living structure, feeling its pulse quicken beneath his fingers. She was aware of every movement, every approaching threat, and he knew she would protect him with everything she had. Yet despite the comfort, his heart raced with adrenaline. He had never faced anything like this. Evan, Ariel said, her voice calm but firm, you must prepare. They will attempt to breach my defenses. I will need you to act with me. He nodded, still catching his breath. What can I do? You are strong. You have instincts. I can amplify them if you allow me to bond more closely with you. He hesitated for only a moment. The urgency in her voice left no room for doubt. Do it. Immediately, Ariel's inner walls shifted and enveloped him more fully. Warm tendrils of energy extended from the structure, brushing gently against his suit. The sensation was strange, almost like a soft weight being placed upon him, but it filled him with power. His senses sharpened. The sound of the distant drone's engines, the hum of Ariel's own energy, even the slightest movements in the ground all became clear. His mind connected to hers, and for the first time, he realized the true depth of her consciousness. She was not just a shelter. She was alive in ways he had never imagined. They are near, she said. I can feel their scanning waves. They do not know I am alive yet. I will reveal myself when they are close. Do not be afraid. The ground trembled as the first wave of drones descended into the plains. They were metallic, angular, and menacing, glinting in the strange light. They hovered just above the surface, scanning in a grid formation, their sensors sweeping like searching eyes. Evan could see the faint energy trails of their scanning rays. Ariel's walls pressed around him, comforting and protective, but he knew that they could not last forever if the drones were determined. They are trying to read my energy signature, Ariel explained. If they discover it fully, they will attack directly. What do we do? Evan asked. You will move with me. Trust me completely, she said. Before he could respond, the structure's outer walls opened with fluid motion, transforming the serene humanoid shape into something far more dynamic. Panels shifted. Energy surfaces formed protective shields, and what had been a stationary sanctuary now looked like living armor. Evan instinctively understood what was happening. Ariel was becoming a protector, a warrior, not just a shelter. Step out, Evan, she said, the warmth of her voice steady. I will carry you. Together we will face them. He swallowed hard and nodded. The soft energy around him tightened, forming an exosuit-like shell around his body. It moved with his limbs, amplifying his strength, enhancing his reflexes. He felt lighter yet stronger, faster yet perfectly balanced. The connection to Ariel made every movement feel natural. Fear was there, but beneath it was a new thrill, the understanding that he was no longer alone. Outside, the first wave of drones began to notice movement. Their sensors flickered, realizing that the readings from Ariel's body were no longer passive. They pivoted toward the sanctuary, engines humming aggressively. Evan felt a surge of energy course through him. He realized that Ariel was sharing her strength, her awareness. He could anticipate the drones' movements before they happened. Their hovering patterns, their laser targeting systems, even the small pulses of electromagnetic interference they emitted, all became visible in his mind's eye. Ready yourself, Ariel said. I will lead. You will follow. The first drones fired their weapons. Bright streaks of energy cut through the air, but Ariel's outer panels flexed and shifted, deflecting the blasts effortlessly. Evan felt the vibrations travel through the exosuit, each impact a reminder of the danger. He raised his arms instinctively, and energy channels formed along his forearms, allowing him to block and redirect some of the minor attacks. Together they moved in perfect sync. He was amazed. He was a human, yes, but with Ariel's energy he was more than he had ever imagined. The drones, however, were relentless. More of them arrived, and some attempted direct contact. Evan leapt, Ariel propelling him with bursts of energy that made him soar above the first wave of attackers. From this height he could see their formation. Their strategy was clear. They intended to overwhelm with numbers and precise targeting. You must focus, Ariel's voice said in his mind. Do not let them predict your moves. Let me guide your instincts. He closed his eyes for a moment and allowed her guidance to flow through him. His movements became fluid. He dodged incoming energy blasts, struck with precision using Ariel's projected energy blades, and even redirected small drones mid-flight by guiding Ariel's outer tendrils. Each action felt natural, like a dance. They were a single entity now, human and sanctuary combined. The drones began to retreat momentarily, realizing they were not dealing with an ordinary target. Evan and Ariel pressed the attack, moving in tandem with lethal grace. They could disable the drones without destroying them completely. The goal was to survive and prevent the attackers from tracing Ariel's origin. Evan's hands glowed with energy as he guided precise strikes, Ariel reinforcing every movement. Suddenly, a larger, more advanced drone appeared, hovering higher and firing concentrated beams of energy. The smaller drones surrounded it protectively. Evan's heart raced. This was the real threat. Ariel pulsed, her outer form expanding slightly, and he could feel her determination. Evan, she said firmly, we must strike together. This one is powerful, but it can be defeated if we combine fully. He nodded. They had no choice. Ariel extended protective energy wings, lifting them into the sky. The wind screamed past him as they ascended toward the main drone. Evan could feel Ariel's focus sharpening his reflexes. He dodged beams instinctively, moving closer with fluid motion, then synchronizing perfectly they struck. Evan extended his hands fully and Ariel projected concentrated energy through him, forming a spear-like beam that pierced the advanced drone's core. The drone shuddered, sparks flying, and then it fell, its systems shutting down. The smaller drones, seeing the destruction of their leader, retreated chaotically. Evan and Ariel landed softly back on the plains. He exhaled heavily, feeling the adrenaline drain from his body. Ariel's energy pulse slowed, returning to a gentle rhythm. He looked at her, the living armor around him now retracting slightly, revealing her soft humanoid form once again. "You did well," she said softly. "Together we are stronger than they anticipated. I could not have done this alone," Evan admitted. "You saved me. You saved yourself as well," she replied. "I only amplified what was already inside you. Your courage, your instincts, your heart, they guided every move. I was only the channel." He smiled faintly, exhausted but exhilarated. For centuries she had waited alone, and now she had finally found a companion. For the first time, Ariel's voice carried warmth, not just as a sanctuary, but as a friend. Perhaps even more. "We should leave this planet," she said after a pause. "It is not safe." "Others may follow," Evan nodded. He trusted her completely. They prepared for departure. Ariel's body shifted again, transforming into a streamlined form capable of flight. She carried him within her core, the living energy flowing around him like a protective cocoon. As they lifted off the purple plains, Evan gazed down at the strange world below. It had been hostile, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. He had survived because he had trusted Ariel, and because she had trusted him. "Where will we go?" he asked softly. "Wherever life needs protection," she replied. "There are worlds in danger, civilizations at risk. I was made to safeguard life, and now with you I will fulfill that purpose more completely." Evan marveled at the bond they had formed. In mere hours, a strange living structure had become a trusted ally, a protector, and even something akin to a friend. He knew the galaxy was vast and filled with dangers, but for the first time, he felt ready to face them. Together they were more than human or alien. Together they were a force unlike any the universe had seen. As they traveled through the shimmering sky, Ariel spoke softly. "Evan, may I remain with you always?" He smiled, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with her energy. "Not just with me," he said, "beside me." And so the human and the living sanctuary flew into the unknown, a single entity against a galaxy full of challenges. Their journey had only begun, but already a legend was forming. Across distant worlds, tales would spread of a human wearing living armor, guided by the mind and heart of a sentient being, fighting for life and hope in places where no one else dared to go. The galaxy had never seen anything like them, and it would never forget.